like sales is a people industry, you know, and you're communicating with people all the time. So if you're not coming to your appointments with that, like I'm bringing my best version of who I truly am, like confident and like I'm sharp.
Okay, what's up everybody? I am super excited today because we have got, in my opinion, one of the top female leaders in solar. This lady is crushing it. We call her the Queen of Solar. Queen Z, Zaira Lawson. Thanks for coming on the podcast today, Zaira.
Thank you for having me. I'm super honored. Very honored.
Now, we've been talking about it for a little bit, but I'm glad we finally were able to get something in the calendar. And Zaira, she's one of the top leaders here at Legacy, and I would say in the whole industry. Just incredible to see how she's been able to develop her team and throw down just massive volume herself during competitions. So we're going to be getting into all that. And she's super organized too. I've learned a ton just about like back end stuff, getting deals to actually go to install. So excited to jump into it. But yeah, if you want to give us your background, just how you got into solar and your journey up to this point, is that?
Yeah, of course. First, thank you for having me on. I'm super honored to be here. I love being in this industry. I've actually been in sales for about 15, 17 years now. And then I was actually doing cold calling, telemarketing. So I already had like that experience of just tons of getting the phone slammed on me, like lots of rejection. I already got that. So I'm like, okay, like if I do in-person sales, it's the same thing, like hitting the doors. But essentially I was in sales at another place for about 10 years. And then when they started like cutting my pay and just changing up structures that wasn't best for the rep, I started like keeping my eyes open for another industry, and I ended up meeting a lot of the guys here, like John Soriano, Jake Ransom, Christian Morgan, at actually church. And it was like that Wolf of Wall Street moment where I'm like, show me how much you're making. And like, if it's enough, like I'll quit my job right now. And they did. Like I saw they're making like $400,000 a year. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. I'm like, I literally quit like that week. And I've been in solar for like the last, this is my 4th year going. I always say that like when I first came in, I didn't want to get into leadership. I just wanted to like kind of be that rep that gets by. And then, so the first 2 years I was just doing my thing. And then I got into a lot of coaching. Like I was really getting into coaching development, personal development, therapy, all those things. And that's when I really learned like the more you invest in yourself, the more that you want out of yourself will like level up. And that's when I just like took off. I went from like making like 100,000 like in my first 2 years to just shooting up to like $500,000. And then this year would be my 4th year, and I'm already hitting like almost $1 million. So And that really just came from again the passion and your self-worth that just completely changes when you start like working on what's up here. And then just applying everything, like you're just putting your foot on the gas and keep going. So
it's so good. Well, yeah, it's funny. I saw a post the other day by another buddy of mine that's also interviewed a lot of like top people in solar and sales, and he said that's like the number one thing you've seen in these top guys is just the mindset shift. They don't like say that much different. They don't do a lot of times that much different. Maybe work a little bit more, but mostly it's just the mindset, the stuff in the head.
Exactly. The pitch stayed the same, like the work hours. It's just like once you change up in here, like that energy just comes out completely different. And then I'm like, okay, now I want to build a team, and now I want to like scale, and now I want to treat this like a business. So like my way of thinking of just what I wanted more for myself, my family, like everything changed.
That's so good. And it's funny, I'd never seen a company that had as many recruits from one church until I came to Legacy. It's like everyone's going to the same church. It's Awaken Church here in San Diego. And I'm like, man, we need to learn some lessons from that. Be recruiting, go to church.
Go recruiting, go to church,
We just had one of our other leaders, Will, he's up there saying that he got recruited because he heard Chris, another guy at church in the prayer circle, saying, like, praying that he was going to make $500,000 or something this year.
He's like, what? Where do you work? Exactly.
So I'm like, man, maybe I switch up my strategy, start getting up on the pulpit of my church. Praying to make $500,000.
So
come asking. But no, that's awesome. And so, something that's been really cool to see is, I don't know if you've noticed this there, but like being in solar for a while, all the ladies I work with, most of the girls, lot of them are like this super like strong type A personality, like super aggressive ladies, and I'm like, okay, I can see why. You know, like these people, it's really strong personalities. You can kind of see that they're meant for sales. But like with you, I never like, I mean, maybe you're like that on the doors. I'm sure you tell them why you're there and all that.
Yeah.
But that's something I noticed about you. You're not like that super like in your face personality. You're not up there screaming at people for meetings and things like that. So like being a woman in the industry, was that, well, first, like in your other sales jobs, was it mostly like also kind of male
all men?
dominated?
Sales, any sales industry I've ever been in has been male dominated. I was always like the only girl in all of them.
So you're just used to it.
I'm just used to it. I like played rugby growing up, so I was just always involved in like very like aggressive sports, and so once I got into sales, I'm like, oh, this is my place. I just felt like it. But I like how you mentioned that. I actually teach a lot in women in sales to know a balance of their feminine energy and their masculine energy, and when to tap into either one, like depending on the sale or like the customer, and then just in your like general like personal life, you know. So it is very important for us women or men just to become the best version of ourselves. And women, like, we're created to be feminine, but when we're in sales, we just have to learn when to tap into that masculine energy where you're being aggressive, being pushy, or you know, controlling the conversation the way that you want to go. But that's a really good point, because that's one thing that I learned in my personal development is like when to tap into that when I'm at work and the right situation. So like I don't want to be super aggressive and have like this masculine over dominating like personality with even my coworkers, and I definitely don't want to take that home. So just learning of like when it's necessary in a home, being a girl that is feminine will help you actually like gain more customers, because like feminine energy is more just like, you're more the cheerleader, you're more like nurturing, and you're more soft spoken. So you don't have to be what a lot of women think is like, I have to be super aggressive in order to do sales, or I have to be like totally tough skin. It's like you can be all of the things that like God has created you to be, but just knowing when to do it is what you need to hone down.
That's good. Because that's something for me too. I'm not like this super aggressive dude, and you know, I see a lot of top guys, and I remember when I first started in sales and solar, I'd be like, okay, maybe I'll never be a top guy because I'm not this aggressive, shouting, super strong personality. But it's like you said, I think if we can channel some of that and just play on our strengths. Like I know I'm not going to be aggressive, and so I'm going to be like the chill guy. I'm going to be persistent, but hopefully like chill and just like coming off of I don't care whether you do this or not. So I think everyone has to learn to be able to tap into the other personalities a little bit, but also play to your strengths.
Just be that best version of yourself in every single appointment and on the doors. And just, if you can just like, I always teach if you could just be you and all rounded in all areas of your life, when you go speak to your customers, you're just bringing that same person, you know? Because I think one thing that I see a lot of, even it's not even like women, or it's both men and women in sales, they try to be something that they're not, and they try to like duplicate something that's just not them. And it's like the point is to gather all the gold nuggets that really allow you to flourish into that person that you're supposed to be, and then put it all together and then get those results. So good. And so I want to get into a lot of something I've always like respected and learned a lot from you is just the organization. You have really good systems set up to involve your setters, get your deals to install. So I want to talk about that, but before that, you mentioned just the mindset shift that you had to be able to go from $100,000 to making like $500,000, now over $1 million. So what is it, just for our listeners, what were some things that helped you like have that mindset shift, and what are some things that people can do to start to like think bigger and change their mindset? That's good.
Low to higher producer.
I would say like one big thing that I learned is just not having like a poverty mindset. So a lot of us just didn't grow up with money. I didn't grow up with money. I grew up super middle class, had almost like a scarcity mindset. Like once I had something, I was really afraid to let it go. So I think when a lot of people like come into this job, they make like their first 10K and then just spend it right away, or like maybe they just hold on to it and they're like afraid to go get more because they're just not used to having so much money. I had this issue where I was making 100 $100,000 a year, and I'm like, oh, like I knew deep down I was worth to have more because of my skill set.
Yeah.
But there was something always self-sabotaging myself from like getting that more. So when I started going through therapy and coaching, and I would say exactly like therapy is more so just like letting out your feelings, but coaching is someone can actually tell you what to do and drive you in the direction of like seeing your blind spots, calling them out, and then giving you direction on what you should do. When I really started having that combination of both, I started working on my childhood trauma and then learning how my parents and how my family dynamic taught me about money, and then what have I gone through where it gave me that scarcity mindset. So once I started getting out of that and really learning about myself and letting go of like my past traumas is when I started realizing, oh, I am worthy of being a millionaire, and I am worthy of like, you know, making 80 to 100,000 like a month, you know, because before it's like, oh, 6 to 10K, that's like good enough for me. You know, I was almost scared to make more. It's like I said, a self-sabotaging. So if you can work with a coach to work with you on not to self-sabotage, but to be like, I know my purpose. I'm destined to have like this in my life, and I was created to create like wealth to not just help myself, but to help my family and my future family. Like you start tapping into like that portion of you, and you believe in yourself so much that you just skyrocket. So that was the biggest thing, is like just coaching, working on trauma. And it's funny how like we talk about this so much, like mindset, but it's like sales is a people industry, you know, and you're communicating with people all the time. So if you're not coming to your appointments with that, like I'm bringing my best version of who I truly am, like confident and like I'm sharp and I believe in myself, which means I believe in my product, I believe in my company. And if you are not the right client for me, I will actually let you go. Yeah. You come in with a different kind of fire, you know, and if like, that's what people don't understand is like they gravitate just on the skill set. It's like, yeah, but if you don't have passion and hustle and a big why, you're not going to hit that. So that was a big thing for me. So I would tell people coaching is absolutely a must. Find a coach that can pour into you, see your blind spots, like not just business wise, but personally. And then definitely have a big why. Understand like, okay, why am I here? So I know my why of like my purpose. And then when you have that clear vision, you'll be able to attain those goals.
That's so good. And I wanted to talk about that first, just because all the stuff you do around, you know, selling and getting your deals, the install. It's like you said, none of that really matters unless you can get your mind to a place where you're actually producing and not coming across your customers as needy, like all this stuff comes in
or
the head.
desperate. Exactly. That's one thing I instill in all of my my team is I'm all about, hey, like making sure that you guys know financially how much you can make, but then giving you, I want to know your vision. I want to know how you think about money. I want to know how you think about yourself. So my team, I'm really focused on not just coaching them in doors, but I coach them in life, you know, and they see the fruit in my life, and I make sure that the mentors that are also working with them are personally working on their personal development and getting the fruit. I think it's extremely important that you don't just follow people that make a lot of money, but they really are successful in all areas of their life, you know, and that's why I love Valor of like family fitness, you know, faith, family, fitness, and finances. If you're working on everything in your life and you see them being successful, it's like, okay, that's who I want to follow. You know?
No doubt. And I was asked, I had another, recently I interviewed this like Super Bowl champ. He came on the podcast, but he does like coaching, consulting and all that now. And so, I was asking him, because there's so many like coaches out there too, online, social media, you kind of make yourself look great when maybe you're not, just because it seems on social media. And so, I think the way you know if you should follow the coach, it's the same way Jesus was teaching, right? Like by their fruits and all that. So
by their fruits.
So it's probably a good thing to look at. Like, are they, like if you're getting coaching from a guy that's has a terrible family life, you know, maybe you should like look at more than just one thing. So but
no, I think that's super important, because one thing is that like being in sales for such a long time, like I said, like over a decade, like almost 2 decades now, I have followed a lot of leaders where I saw them making great money, but they weren't like humble, they had a huge ego, or they weren't loyal to their wives, and like I just didn't like, when you're becoming that best version of yourself, you're getting really closer to your faith.
Yeah.
And then that's when you're like, I don't want to just make money. Like the fruit of me being successful will be money.
Yeah.
But if I can get close to people that are like, you know, having a great family life, like that's really what gravitated to me to the guys here, is I saw them being excellent husbands or excellent like men that were full of integrity, and seeing how they did that in their personal lives, I'm like, they're gonna run their business the same, you know? Yeah. So I make sure to like be very transparent, and like my squad is like, hey, like we're super transparent of like what we're doing here and what we're doing for you. Yeah. And if you want to be on that same path, like we can get you there.
Yeah. Love it. 100%. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, go get a coach, work on that mindset for sure. Super important. Mm-hmm. So yeah, let's shift gears a little bit. Yeah. I want to talk about Zyra's super organized with the back end stuff. Yeah. So can you give our listeners some tips on, because I know it's a huge issue. I talk to companies all the time where like, okay, sign to install, it's like, well, you know, 50%, 40%, sometimes even worse. So it's like, I think it's a huge issue we have is signing up all these people, and then they're just falling off. They're not going to install.
Absolutely.
Guys forget. I just did a podcast the other day. We're just talking about how guys will leave holes on their accounts. We'll just be like, oh, go get these missing documents later, and then they'll forget about it for like a month. Mm-hmm. I think part of it is just because like in sales, we all have ADD. We're just like on to the next thing. Like, okay, we'll do this later, and procrastination. So yeah, what are some, can you give us some tips on like the systems you have in place to help get these signing deals to install? And then another thing that I really like is you also work with your setters. It's not just you doing the work, but you're also involving them. So yeah, tell us about some of the systems you have in place.
And I'll start off too with, because you just brought up a really good point, like a lot of people in sales do have ADD or like OCD. Yeah. Let those things work for you. Okay. Because the thing about like ADD, that just means that you can actually multitask. You know, and if you have OCD, you can be a perfectionist in this job. So when I created my systems and my structure, I allowed those things to like, exactly. I have like a whole system of place that I have all my mentors also follow, and then have them teach my setters or their setters like the same thing. So for one, like our whole squad is like following the same system. Nice. So our biggest thing is when we recruit, we're not just hiring like a warm body. Like it's like, okay, like they need to just like earn their way to be on the squad. Okay. So when we have like that first initial conversation of like they want to come work with us or they come to correlation, I'm like, go shadow for a day and let me know that you even like what we do. Yeah. Because they come here and they see the hype and they see the money and the glory, but then they get out there and they're like, they're all scared and then they don't want to work, right? So my biggest thing is I don't just recruit from the first conversation. So I'm like, go out to the hood. You're going to stay out there for 4 to 6 hours. You're going to really feel it in your body what it's like to knock this long. And then if you like it, I'm going to get some feedback from your mentor, like, how were you there? Did you just kind of like straggle? Did you take notes? Were you asking a bunch of questions? Were you kind of engaging with like the homeowner? I want to hear if they're shy, timid, or like they're outgoing, you know? Based off of that, then I'll send them like an onboarding email where I actually tell them like, hey, for the first 30 days, you're on probation. So that just means that like you have to follow this complete structure of showing up to our correlations, which are twice a week. We have like a weekly Zoom call for like our whole squad. Yeah. We have boot camps, which are teaching here at Legacy. Yeah. So you just have to show up to all these things basically, like for your first month, and you also have to do like your door knocking numbers or you're hitting like your amount of appointments. Yeah. If they follow that, great. Like I can work with people that always show up and work hard. But if they don't, then I have that email to show like, hey, like it was just preference, you know, like let's shake hands. Yeah. Okay. So my biggest thing is like the people on your team, if you have some weak links, don't be afraid to let them go. Like a lot of people make too much friends, like have like these friendships with like their teammates, which is great. But if you can't separate business from friendship, you're going to have a lot of like people that just are not going to respect you because you're not putting down like your foot of like, this is a business and we need to run it like a sales floor. Yeah. You know, so that's my baseline is like our setters. Okay. And then from there, it's just like building a culture that from the time that you get hired, you are learning to be a closer and you're treating this like a business. Yeah. So I'm constantly like, like setters go to all your appointments, you know, with your closers. So you're like learning the lingo, the body language, like the objections, all that kind of stuff. I also have setters go to all of our site surveys to make sure that they're continuing to build that relationship, because closers are usually like busy, you know, and to bring a gift. So you're more so building that relationship, putting us in a group thread. So then that way, keeping up the conversation. So if another person comes and knocks that door, we have a strong foundation and relationship with our clients. And then my thing is that like, hey, like, Mr. Homeowner, you're going to hear from me every like week on update on your account, whether I know something or not. So as I'm doing that, I'm literally contacting the dealer like every 3 days maybe, or for sure twice a week. And I'm figuring out where my sale's at. Is it still designed? Because a lot of like things can go wrong within a sale, right? Like they're always like fumbling the ball somehow. And I have learned to, instead of getting upset, is just to take self like responsibility. I'm like, hey, I can call and figure out what it is. So know your back end. So as you're working your back end, you're speaking with your homeowner, and then you keep yourself organized with like all your sales, like when it got signed, like the account number, who it signed with, what EPC and system size. So if anything changes by the time it gets installed, you know, like you're still getting paid what you're supposed to. So it's just having everything written, keeping good phone communication with all parties in, and then your deal will install, you know. Well, a lot of people where they fail, or they not fail, but they don't do well in this job, is like there's zero communication with your clients. You're not coming back to have them see your face again. So if you're not showing up to the site survey, you're not coming with a gift, you're more just a sales rep. You want to be friends with your customers. And then if they see you as a friend, people don't cancel on their friends, you know? And then just being a professional, if you're constantly contacting the dealer, you will learn more about like the solar process. And then you're on top of it of like, okay, I'm going to get this deal to install in like 3 weeks from the time I signed it. So my thing is like, if I'm in an area that installs in a week, I will push for that week. If I can get it in 2 or 3, perfect. And I don't get anything past like a 3-week install, unless there's like a roof issue or something, you know? So the point is just to be on top of it, right? Again, this is where your OCD can come in really well. It's like, I'm a perfectionist. I have everything written. I have my structure, and especially with all like my setters and closers, I have us all in a spreadsheet. I know their numbers. We go their numbers every single week, and then all their closes, making sure that everything's approved. So as long as you're managing your system, and then you're motivating, you're not like cracking the whip on your people, but you're inspiring and motivating them, like they will continue to stay faithful and keep moving forward and getting you sales.
That's so good. And it's like, because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm too busy to go to all my installs and like show up to site surveys. But what's so cool is you're also involving the setter too. So it's like, hey, you go back, you can take them a little gift, and we're in this together. It's like, because it's like, setters.
You both have that client together.
Especially if you're paying them good. A lot of times it's like, 50%, whatever the split is on the deal. Like, hey, let's work on this together. Absolutely. Because some of these setters are like, oh, my closer's leaving stuff not done on the back end and all that. But
if you teach them from the beginning to be a part of that process, one, it keeps them like, it keeps the setter involved to like caring about that sale, but it also teaches them, so once they get to be a closer, it's like they're not just being bombarded with information. It's like, I've been learning all these steps since I got hired, you know? So that's my biggest thing. But it's just like what you said, like, how much do you really want that deal to go to install? And so that's where it comes into like the discipline. And again, the self-worth. It's like, okay, I need to get paid. I'm trying to make $1 million this year. So how much effort and precision am I putting in every single sale that I close? How fast am I working on it? How much am I caring? I love how Andy Elliott says, you just got to out-care everybody, you know? And it really stuck with me. I'm like, as a closer, you got to out-care every person that has talked to this person and how they've dealt with salespeople in the past. In setters, you got to out-care every person knocking that door. You know?
No one cares. The installer, whoever you're calling in the office, like they're getting paid minimum wage.
They don't care. They don't care about your sale. You got to care more about everyone else.
So it's like, you got to take that initiative. And then for the setters, what type of gifts are you're having them just go? I know you've trained us on it. What do you have them
just something small. So like, since I do have my setters come to every close, I have them pay attention. Like some families are, I think food is a really good thing to like build camaraderie. I mean, the Bible talks about it, like gathering with like food, like with your family or friends. So I always say like I go to Whole Foods and I get like these really cute cupcakes. They're super cute. They're like $3 each, but they're so different and they're delicious. And we actually had them at our wedding.
Nice.
So I actually bring those cupcakes. Yeah, I get something super cute. Or let's say like you're in your clothes and they're like, hey, like we travel a lot and they have like a whole bunch of like fridge magnets or something. I'll go get something from Amazon or San Diego's fridge magnet or something like that. Just something cool. We've had setters that like, she was a painter, so she painted her client like a small little painting.
Cool.
Just like super cool things, you know? So just like pay attention to your clothes, care, make conversation, build that relationship, and like they'll tell you like what they like. And then you just bring it, something that's like $10, $20 worth. It doesn't have to be expensive. It's like just the thought that counts.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and so when you're bringing your setters to the deals, because I know there's different opinions on that in the industry. Like some people are like, oh, I'll never come to a deal, get out, knock more doors. So what's your thinking behind that? Why do you have them come to deals versus just going out and knocking more doors, setting up more deals?
My goal, well, I have like a few goals. One, I want to build more closers, right? So for me, it's like, again, I don't want them to be like a setter for like 3 months and then just start getting like nuggets poured into them about closing. It's going to take them a lot longer to get to that point then. But if they're trained from day one to like know what's happening inside a close and how documents work and all that kind of stuff, like just being a fly on the wall, it's a classroom every single time that they're inside a close. They'll learn so much faster. Two, it's like it will make their job as a setter a lot better if they are in a close and they see the dynamic of why we say the things at the door of like with the homeowner, right? They also learn all the objections, you know, they learn how the communication, the tonality. Remember, like a lot of these times we're training our setters for a few days and then sending them out to the wolves, you know? So if they can be more inside a close where they're spending like 2 hours with you and the homeowner, and they see the dynamic and all those things that have to do with solar, they're gonna just be filled with so much more information. It's the exact same reason why I actually do a closer training for all my closers once a week, and I keep it open for my setters to show up. I'm like, hey, you guys aren't involved in this, but you can come in and just learn everything that we're learning. Because again, it's just going to make their job so much better. So I'm not really like about like just go get me another sale. If we're in competition, you're not coming to the close. Just go set more. But if you're like, if you're have like 3 appointments, like maybe come to 2, you know, or like come to 1. But definitely come as often as you can. And honestly, when I was a setter, I came to all of mine because I was hungry. I wanted to learn. I wanted to get to that next level. So if my closer told me you're not coming to close, I'm like, heck, I am. Like, what do you mean I'm not coming? That's my business too, you know? So I do leave it open. So it's like, if you want to come, you're going to be a closer. But if you're like, you want to be a setter for like a year, then don't come.
Okay, so you're not like for it. You're like, you decide what you want to do, but
yeah,
kind of what
and that's the thing though, the mentality of like, I would say half my guys, it's like they want to scale up, they want to like eventually like get promoted, and most people want that feeling. So like I allow them to come. Plus they can be in the close and build that relationship, continue to talk while you're like doing all your numbers and stuff. So I think it helps.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then because like I know there's different kind of metrics when people should step into closing, and I'm sure you've seen it too. You guys have maybe started closing before they're ready, and then they don't have money, and then you know, just crash and burn, all that stuff can happen too. So what do you do with that? Like, when do you know people are ready? I don't know if you have metrics in place. Okay, you need this many deals, you need this much money to
so to be a setter, to go to closer, you need to at least set 10 appointments in your first quarter. 10 sales should be. 10 sales should be. And my biggest thing is because we do have like a metric with our division of 4 sets a month, but for me it's like I want to see 10 sales closed within that quarter. That's 3 months, you know. So if like that's 10, that's like how if you've set like 16 or let's say in a quarter and 10 of those went to install, like you should be getting good numbers like that. From there, to be a closer, you should have at least 10K in your bank account, because my biggest thing is just like when I hire people, I will not hire you if you're dead broke, because it's like you're gonna have commission breath and like all the stuff at the doors, it's not gonna be good energy. So the same thing, I don't want people becoming closers and having like that scarcity of just like desperation of like, oh my gosh, like I need to get a sale and I need to hit my metrics. So I want them to transition into being closers. So once they hit their 10 sales, I start having them do half the close. Like they do the beginning, like the discovery questions, maybe breaking down the bill. They're already starting to be involved. So once they graduate, they have money and they've already been practicing a lot. Yeah. And again, that's why it's so good that they're in every single close, because they've seen everything.
Okay. No, I think that's good, because most companies that I talk to, they wait till they hit the metrics, then they start closing them. And to your point, I think that's part of the reason why they probably take forever to get good at closing, because it's like they've never even seen a close for the first 6 months.
And it's scary. I mean, I just can imagine like when me already having like a decade worth of sales experience when I came to do solar, and it was scary for me, even like going into like my first close and doing everything myself, even knowing all my basics of like selling. So I can't just imagine most people who don't have a sales background and they're studying and then suddenly become a closer. It's like, I want to make sure that they're being poured into and trained all along the way, you know? So once they get to closing, I need to have confidence that they can close. Because same thing, I don't want to just send someone out to the wolves. It's like, look, like I have my numbers and my quota to hit too. So unless like you're dedicated to your numbers too, like I'm just not going to just throw you in and take a chance, you know? I want to make sure that they feel comfortable doing it and they're happy and excited, but like they can do it, you know? It's so good.
So I think for the listeners, just make sure to set up systems. Not too many people have that attention to detail where they have the whole spreadsheets and all that. And I mean, you got spreadsheets for pretty much everything, you know? You customers.
I have spreadsheets for all my team and then our clients, and then I have I use something as easy as like iPhone notes for like on your iPhone, you have the notes. I have 2 of them for all the training. So everything I've ever learned in solar, like objections, pitch, everything, like just your progression from every single position and like your expectations. So I can like constantly update them, and it's all clean and structured. And then every time I hire someone, they get that link, and their homework is to memorize all that stuff.
That makes it easy. And then it's like as you're getting busier and busier, you already have them in place, so it makes it easy. Just send them the link, send this, that.
Send them the link.
The onboarding, you already have what they're going to get sent for onboarding. Because that's part of an issue I struggle with, and probably a lot of people. It's like a difference. You know, you do an interview, you're like, what happens next? What are the metrics going to be with this person?
Exactly. And if you got to like repeat yourself and you're hiring like one after the other, like constantly, it could get really draining for you as a leader. So that's where it's like, if you have something like already created and you're like, hey, read this, you're hired, and then next day you discuss it and any kind of questions, like it just saves you time. The best thing to do as a leader is to delegate, create a system so you're not constantly repeating yourself, you know, but you're saving yourself time.
That's fire. So cool. So the 2 other things I want to get into before we run out of time here is something I've seen you do is just like turn it on for competitions. I mean, you had what did you do, like 20 in a week, 16 in a week, or some crazy number?
We did our last Masters competition. We did. I personally did 27, and then our whole squad got 76 sales. So in 3 weeks. Just like insanity. And I know there's other people here in the legacy offices that can turn it on too. But it's just like a different level. I see a lot of the leaders, especially you guys, just turn it on and hit these huge numbers. So I'm sure you're going to say like a lot of it is mindset too, but like what is... Well, accountability is big on that. So when it comes to like competitions, or even we had for our squad, we had a goal of hitting 50 installs in like last quarter. And so every time I have like a big number of like, we have to hit this number, it comes down to accountability, right? It's really hard to keep people disciplined. So for example, for both things, I did blitzes. So I did do like 1 straight week. I get the Airbnb, I pay for everything. Like we get up together at 10 a.m., we have a little powwow, we have breakfast, and then we go out and knock, and I'm gonna lock the doors. And you're not back until 8 p.m. At least like once, and I kept that up like once a quarter, we're gonna be doing blitzes. And it's like, one, it builds the camaraderie, it keeps accountability. You're working there the whole time, and it's crazy. Like just even doing local blitzes, like how much business you can get just from 1 week, you know, because you're just out there working constantly. So one, that was one thing, is like giving them the opportunity to, like, you're in a group, we're all out there knocking. I would say second is giving them some kind of incentive. We all knew with like the masters competition that the huge incentive was like the trip, but I would say, like, even when we were trying to hit 50 in a quarter, I'm like, I'm going to take you guys on a cruise if like we hit that. And we did. So, and then we went on a cruise. So like giving them like a vision, like something like a carrot to be like, hey, like you guys hit this. Do you want to go on a cruise? Like, I know if someone told me I'm going to take you on a free cruise, like, to the you know? And so I give them like a metric, and same thing. And then from there, I would say just give them like a lot of like motivation. So it's just like, no one wants to be the last person behind, you know? I think during competitions, like no one wants to be that person that like ruined it for everybody. So it's just constantly just reminding them like, hey, like we're a team unit. So our squad is called the A-Team, like the 80s group, you know, the A-Team. And what I have done with them, I'm like, hey, like we're a family unit, no one gets left behind. So if we're going on a blitz, or we're in a competition, or like we're trying to hit like a goal, call someone that you don't see out in the hood. Like I have them all take pictures like when we're knocking in the hood, and to do groups. If they're not, like they know to reach out to their other comrade and be like, let's get out there. You're not being left behind. Like, where are you? And that's my biggest thing, is like, I check like whose photos are in there, and then they know that too. Like they know to like, they're leading themselves, but they're also helping to be a leader and like pulling people out with them.
Because didn't you guys just rent, like we're in San Diego, and you just got like an Airbnb down the street, or still
literally.
In the same area.
We literally just got like an Airbnb like 15 minutes away from here. And then we got all of we didn't go out of town, and we got those 76 sales in those 3 weeks. It's crazy. So, and that's the biggest thing, is just like having everyone go out together and love on each other. I think the one thing I've seen from other offices or teams just across the nation that like aren't as successful is there's a lot of cliques in their office or cliques in their own little huddle. And if you can build your team where like you're doing weekly things already, so by the time you get to like big competitions, they know how to work together and they like each other. You know? So we build our team to like, you guys are a family, you know, your success is like your brother and sister's success, you know? So we're all going to help each other, like keep up our why, keep up our passion, like why are we doing this job, and get ourselves out there. It's really about just having that love and accountability. You can't just have accountability, you need love. You need someone to care about you.
It's cool, and I can tell because I remember talking to people on your squad. There's like, okay, here's what we do during competitions. We're out at this time. Like they already know what the expectations are for competitions and what they're going to do different and all that. So I'm like, man, these people know what to do. They know how to win. And then like for you personally, so you think you're like, because you turn it on, you close an insane amount of deals. So do you think that's just kind of like a byproduct of getting the team bought in and getting your setters bought in, or is there anything that you personally do different to like throw down big numbers in these competitions?
No, I mean with my personal numbers, I mean it's the same thing. I just like I probably give like my setters like a different incentive, like hey, like $200 for every sit. You know, like I throw out something. I have like my own squad stuff, like we have our team like prizes for like the month. So it's like, hey, like for this many like M1s, so like milestone 1, like after they've got the design. So I know that deal's probably not gonna like cancel. It's already past the site survey. It's going to design. I have things like, you know, shoes, like new pair of knocking shoes, or I have like what's called pay my bills. So it's like you want your phone bill, like, or like your electric bill paid or something like that, you know? I have like swag, or like I'll do big things like if you want to go golfing for a day, spa day, you know, new iPad, iPhone watch, like things that like they want or they need, you know? So I'll always get feedback from them. Like, what do you guys want? You know, and I'll get like, I want an iPad or like something like that. So like, I'll make sure that it's things that are attainable, like the easy things to like the medium to the high. I like incentives. So like when I was closing or as a setter, it would push me. You freaking say a pen is like up to get, I'll get that pen, you know? So when I have these big competitions and I want like my personal sales to go up, I will just make sure like to throw out things spiffs to my setters.
Nice.
And I'm like, hey, like I'm giving you something a little on top of what I'm giving the A team, you know, because I want you guys to be like more motivated. Yeah. But it's not really anything different. I feel like I'm just implementing like my same stuff. If your team sees you passionate and like I said, leading from the front, you're going out there and knocking with them, you're in the trenches with them, they see you getting the objections, like it's so much more, it impacts them more than you just telling them what to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You better make sure they have solar on their place before you're paying their electric bill.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Like, oh shoot, I just gave this incentive to the guy that has
a
house and
oh.
like,
Yeah. No. But incentives work, and then just keeping them accountable.
Yeah, love that. Well, so good, Zyra. It's been awesome having you on.
Yeah,
and then, I mean, the last thing I kind of wanted to get into before we wrap up here is, like, you know, I hear from a lot of ladies that's like, it's a male-dominated industry. Sometimes I know tough for like the ladies to come in and feel part of the group and maybe have as much success. Like it was funny. I think the first year I was doing this podcast is I got like a kind of negative comment or like review. It was by some girl and she's like, hey, you need to like be more inclusive. You're always like, hey, here's what you guys should do. Like say, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's true. I need to like include the ladies too. So I try to think about that too, just because I know for me, if I was going to like an industry where it's all women, then I'd probably be like, oh wow, this is like, you know, how do I
get the dudes in here,
So I know you're like used to it and everything by now, but like what advice do you have for maybe the ladies that are listening to this? How do you, how have you like been able to get into leadership? What's like your advice for the ladies listening to this that want to just, you know, have the same level of success and
great question.
Feel more comfortable now?
Yeah, I would say women, work on yourselves. Like the biggest thing that like, I mean, feelings are a good thing no matter you're a guy or a girl, but women do tend to wear their emotions more on their sleeve, especially when they come to work. So my biggest thing that I have seen and experienced is women create a lot of drama or gossiping a lot. And so when you kind of like start tainting the place that you work at, you lose a lot of that respect from your coworkers. And like when you're trying to hit these levels of like maturity and growth and leadership, you have to let those old things go.
Yeah.
So I think like the biggest thing I always tell women is work on you, like get a really good coach that you work with monthly that can see blind spots in. It's not just business. I would say personal. Like my coach is all personal. I don't have a business coach. Nice. She like literally just works with me constantly. Like I don't go gossiping or like complaining to my friends anymore or my husband. Like I have a coach to dump all my emotions on. Nice. And because I'm able to do that, I can come to work as that best version of myself and focus on work. So I would say, like coaching is like the number one thing. And then obviously like be yourself. Like don't try to duplicate the guys. Like I said, there's a great thing about being a woman that you can tap into the feminine and tap into the masculine. Yeah. And I think that the more that you can hone in on that and knowing when to use that dynamic and then just leveling up as a person that's mature and is growing, coachable, those things will work. With a lot of women, they tend to, I've seen like get offended very easily or like, they have to have tough skin. Yeah. Sales is about having a tough skin. I talked about how I used to be in the music industry. You have to have a tough skin in that industry, you know? And so like I learned when I came to sales, it's the exact same thing. I have to be able to take it in. I have to like internalize it and then not go gossip to all my coworkers about it, but have an outsource that I can pour it out and get some revelation or wisdom on so I can take that feedback and get better at my job and then keep that communication with my boundaries at work. Yeah. And so I think that, men can get really good at that too, but the great thing about guys is it's like if they have an issue, they usually just keep it, you know, and then they can compartmentalize, like, I'm just going to throw myself into work. I think women, like, they just tend to spew it out. Yeah. So, and that's where I feel like they get a bad reputation of being in sales. Yeah. So the women that I've seen do really well at this job, like they've learned that dynamic, you know? So I would say that. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and well, I've had other women on the podcast at times too, and just a lot of stuff that, like, for me, I didn't really think about.
just how we should kind of be more inclusive. Like an example I've had with other ladies on the is like having gear for girls too. Like,
oh yeah.
I remember my first solar companies, it was just all the guy polos and all that. So stuff, simple things like that. And I don't know, I think Legacy, aren't they doing kind of like a women sales group or something now?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
but I do, I when I speak on that point, women still have to kind of fight a little bit to be recognized, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's just the one thing that I would always tell the guys, because when I got hired, I was just like, I think a lot of the girls were leaving, and I pretty much grew up with all like the leaders that are like in Valor right now.
Yeah.
And I told them at one point, like, I don't want you guys to look at me as like the best female sales rep. Like, I want to be the top sales rep, just recognized amongst you, right? Yeah. So a lot of it is just fighting for that. Like, don't separate me as a girl. Like, I'm like your equal, you know? Yeah. Unfortunately, that's just something that girls just will have to like push through, and like you can't let it get to your head or your ego or your feelings. It's like whatever, like fight for the gear. Like, hey, get more girl gear, you know, just fight for it, and then just like always put yourself out there as like, I'm the best rep, I'm your equal, that's it. And I think like the only way that girls get like offended by it is if you make an issue out of it, you know. But if you don't, if you just like include yourself, you like, you know, like this is amongst my peers and that's it, like you'll think like that. It's all in your head.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm like, maybe I don't understand. Like, you know, I brought my sister-in-law. She actually came out and did sales and stuff. She didn't really have a good experience, but I like didn't know, you know, just super emotional and probably didn't have the thickest skin and all that. And I'm like, I don't even know how to handle this.
Yeah. So I would say that like that's the thing. Like when I do recruit women, and this is just not even recruit women, but like a lot of my reps now, I do ask them, hey, like, what's your personal life like? What's your hobbies? You know, like, what's your personal development life like look like? Do you read books? Do you do all that stuff? Just to kind of get like a gathering of what they're like. I'm not saying that stops them from getting the job, but I want to know, like, are they open to that growth? You know? So like when women want to get into this job, I would just like keep it real. Like, hey, like, how are you with rejection at the doors? Like, and I can tell right away just how they communicate. Are they outgoing? Are they timid? Are they shy? Because shy girls will not do well here, you know, and not being timid as well. And a lot of girls are also just used to things getting given to them. Yeah. So it's like, if you can hustle and you can grind and you're like, you can be aggressive and you can also be just yourself and you're like coachable, you'll do well.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that.
So yeah.
So good. So ladies and guys, you can reach out to Zyra. She's dropping. He always. Yeah. And speaking of that, Zyra, if people want to reach out to you, maybe learn more, I don't know, join your team, hear more about what you're doing, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
If you guys actually want to reach me, you can go on my Instagram, you know, so it's Zyra, so ZAIRA _ Lawson, so it's LAWSON.
Okay.
And that's my, what's called your handle? Your Instagram handle? Yeah. So you can reach me on there. Okay. I don't know if I should give my phone number. So, can I?
If you want, sure, whatever.
Sure, yeah.
Hopefully people don't blow you up too much. But.
Yeah, hopefully people don't blow you. Actually, just stick to my Instagram for right now. Okay. Yeah, so stick to my Instagram, hit me up, see what it's all about. If you're really interested, or you can contact Taylor and then he can reach out to me. So how about that?
We'll hook you up.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well, so guys, remember all the stuff we talked about. Make sure you build your systems in solar, like know how to turn it on for competitions, and just get organized. Make sure you're not leaving things undone in your deals. Get these bad boys to actually install. Yep. And last question, Zyra, before we say goodbye here. Yeah. If you were to give one piece of advice, maybe a struggling rep or maybe a female in the industry that's like not having success. I don't know if there's any times in your solar career where like you had a super rough going or anything that like helped get you out of that. But yeah, what advice would you give for maybe a rep that's struggling or someone that's like, man, I don't know if I can handle solar anymore. Maybe I should give up.
Yeah,
what would you say?
That's a good question. I would look at three things. It's like, one, are you working the hours, right? A lot of people I see like, oh, I'm not doing well, I think I'm going to quit. And then I look at their numbers and they haven't been knocking. Yeah. So it's like, one, are you actually putting in the hours? Because by default, the more that you're out there, you'll talk to someone that's a complete lay down and will speak to you and sign up, you know? 2, how's your mindset? Are you out there saying like, maybe I'll get a bill, I don't know if I can do this, like you're just kind of like a negative Betty. And if you're out there with that kind of energy and you're like monotone, you don't really care about your job, you're not going to do well. You know, sales is all about energy and positive, and like if you're bringing that to the doors, like I said, you got to make yourself stand out from every other rep that's knocked that door, you know? So I would say check yourself, like, you know? And then thirdly, sometimes like I wouldn't blame ever a mentor, but sometimes I do hear about mentors that are just never available. And then again, that's when I would be like to the rep, you are a 1099, it is your business. So if that is the case, have a talk with your mentor. Don't be shy, don't be timid of like, well, they're not giving me the attention, why didn't you speak up? Why didn't you say something, right? So I would say like, hey, like, if it were me, I would be like, I need your help. You know, I'm struggling, I don't know my objections, I maybe need like some advice to my hood, like where I'm working, I need you, you know? But again, like I do believe that those reps that are like that hungry, like we pour into those, we see those, and like we naturally gravitate to giving them more help. But the reps that don't say anything, stay behind, don't work, kind of disappear, don't show up to all the meetings, we probably just, you get lost in the sauce, you know? So I would say too, like what one of my old bosses used to say is that people don't get fired, people fire themselves, you know? So you got to be proactive in this job. If you want to succeed, you can, but you just have to, like all these things that we discussed, mindset, skill set, putting in the hours, like those things together, you will do well. Or talk to someone that can help you to make sure that you're getting that.
100%. Love it. That is a nugget. So make sure, take the initiative, be proactive on your ends. Most of the time it's, you know, it's stuff you can do better. So look in the mirror before you blame other people. So important. So again, Zyra, thanks again for coming on the show. It was awesome. And hopefully we can have you on again in the future. You're welcome back anytime. And with that, we will say goodbye and go crush some deals this week. Let's go.
Bye.